Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to go through the answers of reading quiz chapter 10. So let's start with the first question. You run a company in a monopolistically competitive market. Why would you want to find ways to differentiate your product from the products of your competitors? So in monopolistically competitive market, you have many competitors, there are many firms in the market and there are many buyers as well. So because of the competition, in order to gain more market share, you want to differentiate your product. This differentiation could be the packaging, could be the customer service, could be the location of the store, but you are trying to find ways to get more customers and increase the demand for your product. So the idea here is that to set your product apart from the others, gain market share, and achieve economic profit. Question 2. A good example of a monopolistically competitive market would be which one? Let's read all of them. The 4 companies that control over 80% of the US beef market. So this is an example of an oligopoly. You have dominant firms in the market. In a monopolistically competitive market, we have many small firms and their market share is not too high. The production of tennis balls where 4 firms dominate. Again, this is an example of an oligopoly. Gas stations in Texas is a good example of monopolistically competitive market. There are some minor differences between the gas stations, and gas stations try to differentiate themselves by location or the additional services they provide. Airlines is an example of oligopoly. There are few dominant firms in the industry. Question 3. How would a monopolistically competitive firm determine its profit maximizing level of output and price? So here let's draw the curves. So if you remember, we have the demand curve for monopolistically competitive firm, which is downward sloping. But this curve is not the same as the monopoly's demand curve. Monopoly is the only firm, therefore it sees the entire demand curve, industry's demand curve. Here, monopolistically competitive firms' demand curve is more elastic and it's downward sloping. That means by changing the quantity, the monopolistically competitive firm can be able to sell at a higher or lower price. But still, there is the competition, therefore the demand curve is more elastic. So we have this demand curve here, and then we have the marginal revenue curve, and then we have the marginal cost curve. And the monopolistically competitive firm determines the profit maximizing level very similar to monopoly. MC equals MR is the point. At that point, monopolistically competitive firm chooses the quantity. And at that quantity, to find the price, we go up to the demand curve and then find the price on the demand curve at that quantity. So this is how we determine profit maximizing quantity and price in a monopolistically competitive firm. So let's find out the right answer for question 3. The firm would determine output based on intersection of average cost and marginal cost. This is not correct. The firm would use industry averages to determine the profit maximizing level of output and price. That's not correct. The firm would determine output based on the intersection of marginal cost and marginal revenue. This is the correct one. Then examine where that output level intersects with the demand curve to determine the price. Question number 4. As firms enter and exit a monopolistically competitive market, what happens to productive efficiency in the long run? So if you remember from perfectly competitive markets are productively efficient. The reason because in the long run, okay, we have this scenario. Here is price and quantity, and the demand curve is perfectly elastic, and this is the average total cost curve, and then we have the marginal cost curve. So we choose this point. At this point, price equals to minimum of ATC. So the idea here is that in the long run, the profits are zero, but also the companies find the cheapest possible way to produce the product. Therefore, all resources are used efficiently, and therefore this perfectly competitive market was productively efficient. Now let's see what happens in monopolistically competitive markets. And again, I'm talking about in the long run. That means in the long run, the profits are zero for both monopolistically competitive market and perfectly competitive market. But we have a different picture. We don't have the demand curve perfectly elastic. We have a downward sloping demand curve. So this is the demand curve. And then in the long run, again, we reach the zero profit condition. So this is ATC. But the price attaches to average total cost curve not at its minimum. Okay, the minimum is somewhere here. So the price is higher than the ATC's minimum point. And let's see, this is the marginal cost. This is marginal revenue. So it should be something like that. I didn't draw it good. Let me start from the beginning. This is demand curve. This is marginal revenue. And this is marginal cost. This intersection determines profit maximizing price. And in the long run, this price is equal to ATC. Okay? So it's equal to ATC. Price equals to ATC. That means we have zero profit. But that doesn't mean that we are productive efficient. The reason is price is greater than minimum of ATC. So perfectly competitive markets are productively efficient, but monopolistically competitive firms are not. We have zero economic profit, but price is not equal to minimum of average total cost. Therefore, the right answer is this one. Price will eventually intersect the average cost curve at a point where price is greater than minimum of average cost, and productive efficiency will not be reached. Question 5. How does advertising impact monopolistically competitive firms? So, why the firms advertise? First of all, advertising has cons and pros, but the main idea is you want to reach out more people and increase your demand. But sometimes this works because if people don't know about your product, then they know about your product by just watching a commercial. Therefore, it increases the demand. But also at the same time, it increases the competition in the market while customers are aware of different types of products in the market. Therefore, the demand curve for each firm becomes more elastic because that means customers have more options to choose from. So therefore, the right answer is it either causes a firm's perceived demand curve more elastic by increasing the competition, or advertising causes demand for the firm's product to increase. That means customers are aware of your product. Therefore, the demand for your product increases. Question 6. Why do oligopolies exist? So the oligopoly market is actually started maybe with competition, maybe not, but the idea is that small number of firms which are dominant firms or strong firms have established barriers to entry using economies of scale, patents, and sheer size to prevent other firms from challenging them. Therefore, we have few dominant firms in the market. That's how we get to oligopoly markets. Question 7. What is the difference between collusion and competition? So in collusion, the firms act together. Let's say you have 3 dominant firms, firm A, firm B, and firm C, and they come together on a table and then make a decision to sell at a certain price. So that's called price fixing. They usually choose a price that brings monopoly profits to all of them, or highest profits that they can get from the industry. So that's called collusion. Competition is different. In a competition, each firm acts independently. So given this, we can find the right answer. The first one, competition, is when firms operate independently. That is correct. Collusion is when firms in the oligopoly market structure try to invite new entrants into the market to make it more competitive. That is not correct. Collusion is when firms act together in ways to reduce output, keep prices high, and divide up markets. That is correct. Competition is when firms operate independently. So the right option is the second one. Question 8. What does the prisoner's dilemma teach us about the behavior of oligopolists? So in prisoner's dilemma, if you remember from your textbook, we can quickly review what the prisoner's dilemma is. There are 2 prisoners, let's say A and B, and the police interrogates each prisoner independently. That means in a separate room. And if prisoner A implicates prisoner B, then the prisoner A is going to set free. But the prisoner B is going to get 20 years. If the reverse happens, if B implicates A, then B is going to set free and prisoner A gets 20. If they both stay silent, they can maximum get into prison 1 year each. So if they both confess, then for instance they get 10 years each. So given this situation, if they get into an agreement and say that they're not going to tell anything, they are going to get maximum 1 year, right? But actually, since they are in a separate room, how you can trust the other person? Because if the other person implicates you, then you're going to get 20 years, which is a long period of time, compared to that person is going to be free. So this represents the cooperation. This represents, these two outcomes represents the self-interest. Because they are not going to trust the other side, they are going to end up with this outcome. They are going to implicate their partner. A implicates B, B implicates A, and they are going to get 10 years each. So in a prisoner's dilemma, given this scenario, we understand that it's a scenario that teaches us that gains from cooperation are larger than the rewards from pursuing self-interest. If A pursues self-interest and B pursues self-interest, by implicating their partner, they end up with this outcome. Question 9. What are the key trade-offs of imperfect competition? So in imperfect competition, the monopolistically competitive market structure provides powerful incentives for innovation because you want to differentiate, you want to provide a better product, but they never achieve productive efficiency in the long run. They are not achieving productive efficiency because price is not equal to minimum of ATC. So how the cost of production increases? It increases because of advertising, because of creating a new brand, because of differentiating your product. You are actually need to reach out to a point that your price is not equal to minimum of ATC. So that creates a problem. A good example of an oligopoly would be restaurants in Texas is an example of monopolistically competitive firms. The production of electric energy in metropolitan Houston is run by one company. This is an example of a monopoly. The production of tennis balls where 4 firms dominate. This is an example of oligopoly. Dry cleaning stores in Texas is a monopolistically competitive market. These are the answers, quiz chapter 10. Now next I'm going to solve some questions from Edfinity assignment. Let's start with question 7. The graph below shows cost and revenue curves for a monopolistically competitive producing different amounts of cleaning products. And the numbers are given. We can draw the graph here so that you can see on the screen as well. So we have the price and quantity. And then we have demand curve, and then we have marginal cost curve, and there is marginal revenue curve. Marginal revenue and marginal cost intersects at point E, and point E is $9. And then we have average total cost curve. Average total cost curve is like that. And then we have point F. Point F is 20 units. And now we need to find out the profit. So for profit, we know the rules. Let's start with the first rule, MC equals MR, right? That tells us the quantity. So MC equals MR here. Therefore, the profit maximizing quantity is 20. Now we need to find profit maximizing price. We need to go up to the demand curve to find the price, and that's point A. Point A is $43. So we know that price is $43, profit maximizing price, and quantity is 20. To calculate profit, I will use this formula. P minus ATC tells us per unit profit times the quantity. So I need ATC. To find the ATC, we are going to use again this profit maximizing quantity and go up to the ATC curve to find out the amount. And when you do that, that represents point C. And point C is $19. So now we have all the information. 43 minus 19 times 20 is the profit. And in that case, 43 minus 19, 24 times 20 is 480 is the right answer. And next question I'm going to solve is number 8. So here in this question, you are given a payoff matrix and you need to find the dominant strategy and the Nash equilibrium for this game. Let's read the question first. Janelle and Sophia committed money laundering together and have been brought in for questioning. They are faced with a decision to either confess their crime or remain silent. In the table below, you will see the prison time in years each person will face if they either tell or remain silent. So here we have Janelle, and then we have here Sophia, and we have two options, tell and remain silent, tell and remain silent. So if both tells, then both get 6 and 6, and if Sophia tells but Janelle remains silent, then 0, 10. This is an example of prisoner's dilemma, and here is 10, 0, and here is 3, 3. Now we are going to learn how to find first Nash equilibrium of this game. So we will assume that you are now the player, Sophia. Okay, you are here. And you have two strategies, tell or remain silent. And you need to find out what is your best response for each strategy given the all strategies of Janelle. So you're going to say that, okay, if Janelle chooses tell, I can either tell or remain silent, but I need to find out which one brings a better payoff. So we will compare 6 and 10 years of prison. Should I just tell the police if I know for sure Janelle tells, or remain silent? So given that, the best option is to tell, because 6 is less than 10. So 6 is better than 10, so you choose 6. Now, we know that Janelle has another option too, so we need to find for Sophia the best response if Janelle remains silent. If Janelle remains silent, I can tell and get free, or I can remain silent and get 3 years. So free is better than 3 years. Therefore, best response for Sophia if Janelle remains silent is to tell. Now let's find out the same best responses payoffs for Janelle. And now Janelle knows that Sophia has two strategies. And if Sophia tells, we need to find out what is the best response for Janelle. If Sophia chooses this road, so Janelle needs to compare either to get 6 or 10. 6 is better than 10, therefore Janelle chooses 6. And now here again, we know that Sophia has two options, but Sophia may choose remain silent. If Sophia remains silent, now we are talking about this row, and now Janelle has two payoffs, either get 0 or 3. 0 is better. So the cell that both players chooses the best responses is Nash equilibrium. In this case, tell, not 6, 6, tell is the Nash equilibrium, because in that cell, both players play their best responses given the other's strategies. And for this reason, both tell is a Nash equilibrium. And now next thing is we need to find the dominant strategy. For dominant strategy, I need to find out whatever the other players play, any strategy, myself plays always the same strategy. Then that's called dominant strategy. So let's find out if there is a dominant strategy for Sophia. So for Sophia, Sophia plays tell. If Janelle plays tell, right? If Janelle plays tell, we compare 6 and 10 and choose 6. And if Janelle plays remain silent, Sophia again plays tell. So no matter what Janelle chooses, Sophia always plays tell. Therefore, tell is a dominant strategy for Sophia. So the right answer is the first one. Now the next question I'm going to solve is question 15 to make sure we understand the Nash equilibrium. We have two companies, Acme Inc. and Superior Trading Co. are the only two firms in the market selling cars. The table below shows the profits per unit they can earn from two pricing strategies. If Acme Inc. charge a high price for their cars and Superior Trading Co. charge a low price, Superior Trading Co. would gain complete market share and earn $1,270 profit per unit. However, if Superior Trading Co. taught the same way and also charged a low price, both firms would end up earning $670 per unit, lower than what they could earn if they both charge a high price. So let's draw first here the payoff matrix, and we have high price and low price, the same high price and low price. We have Acme here, we have Superior Trading Co. here. The first payoff is for Acme, 970. Second payoff is for Superior. And 0, 1270. Here 1270, 0, 670 and 670. Now we are going to play the game first for Acme. Acme has two options, high price, low price, and if for sure Superior chooses, we need to find what is the best response for Acme. Acme choose high price and get 970, or chooses low price and get 1270. So this is best response if Superior plays this column. Now if Superior plays this column, low price, we again need to find the best response of Acme. Acme can choose high price and get 0, or Acme choose low price and get 670. So we played Acme and find out the best responses for each strategy Superior has. Now the next step is we are going to play the game for Superior. Acme has two options. Acme can play high price, so we could be at this row. If Acme plays this row, we need to find which strategy is best for Superior. We compare 970 and 1270. This one is better. So Superior is going to choose low price. What if Acme chooses this row? And if that is the case, we need to compare high price and low price payoff for Superior. Superior gets 0 for high price and 670 for low price. So this is best response for Superior. And given this cell, both players chooses their best responses, is called Nash equilibrium. Nash equilibrium is low price, not the payoffs. So therefore, in this game, we know that Nash equilibrium is low price, but we need to find out what is the dominant strategy in this game. In this game, dominant strategy is always to play low price. Let's see why is the case. Acme chooses low price if Superior chooses high price. Acme chooses again low price if Superior chooses low price. So whatever the strategy that Superior chooses, Acme always low price. So low price is dominant for Acme. Let's check for Superior. The same story. Superior always chooses low price. If Acme plays high price, Superior chooses low price. If Acme chooses low price, Superior chooses low price. So low price is a dominant strategy for Superior. Therefore, both firms charge a low price is the dominant strategy. If both firms colluded, they are going to for sure choose this outcome. 970, 970. Therefore, the right answer is going to be 970. So this is all about for this video. I hope this is going to be helpful. Thank you for watching.